This is the story of a man named Mike. Mike worked for Aperture Laboratories, where he was employee number 352. Employee number 352's job was simple. He would sit at his desk in room 352 and monitor test chambers. This is what employee 352 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Mike was able to put up with it for the simple reason he would get a 35-minute break to eat his favorite lunch. And Mike was happy. But then one day, Mike opened up his lunchbox to find it empty. Someone else had eaten Mike's lunch. And Mike knew the culprit. Mike decided he was going to confront them, so he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. Mike noticed none of his coworkers were at their desks. However, Mike had bigger issues to solve, so I figured the meeting room would be where the suspect was. At first, Mike assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for blah blah blah, you get the point. Now that you're down here, there's something I'd like to show you. Through this door. Mike, this is my serious room. This is, well, it's technically not my serious room, but it's a serious room. Nonetheless, you were trying to break the game by jumping out of the window. Yes, I shouldn't have forced you to jump out the window, but you're missing the point. You tried to break the game, and now I issue you a punishment. How about I'll load you into a random portal map, so then you'll break that game instead of this one. Sounds good to me. Goodbye, Mike.
If you feel liquid running down your neck, relax, lie on your back, and apply immediate pressure to your temples. You are simply...
Mike noticed none of his coworkers were. Oh, please. Are you really doing this just for the achievement? Click a door 5 times? Is that really what you think an achievement is worth? desks. However, Mike had bigger issues to solve, so I figured the meeting room would be where the suspect was. When Mike came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet, there was not a single person in the meeting room. Mike would have given up if he hadn't thought of the secret test they were holding, so he stepped into the elevator and pressed the button to go down. Mike attempted to enter the broom closet, but unfortunately, it was boarded up, so he was forced to continue the story. Descending deeper into the building, Mike realized he felt a bit peculiar. This was strange, as Mike had never felt this way in all his years at the company. But Mike just couldn't do it. He considered facing his coworkers, admitting that he left his post during work hours. So he decided he would return to his office and simply go hungry. Now, in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, I got no clue. Wait, I've got an idea. I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? Okay, this is quite boring, so I'm just gonna play some music to lighten the mood. Mike couldn't follow the adventure line. He didn't want to listen to the narrator. He wanted to make up his own story. So instead of following the line upstairs, he went down on his own path. As Mike traversed the halls with pride, he was glad to finally not be a pawn in someone else's story. In a way, he was glad everything happened the way it did. He finally got a chance to make the story his own. But Mike began to wonder what this was all about. I mean, everybody in the building had vanished. Now this weird narrator was in my head telling me how to live my life. Mike couldn't understand why this was happening. Was it a dream? Mike asked. No, I'm awake. But could it be a computer simulation? Mike froze for a second. A computer simulation, that was it. Or maybe a video game? Yes, this explains everything perfectly. But Mike began to think, is any of my life real? When did the game itself start? How much of my life has just been code? Mike tried to remember anything beyond today. Just anything. I work at Aperture. I monitor test chambers. This was all Mike could remember. But at least it was proof he was right. But that brought up more questions, like who would want to play a video game of my boring life, and How had I become self-aware in the first place? And then Mike thought further. Was this even his own choice? Was he being controlled by another human being? Not only that, but this choice he made, or whoever's controlling him, was it truly going off track and making the story his own? Was this all scripted? Mike decided that the game ends here. So he concentrated very, very hard. And before he knew it, everything went black.
Gary decided to... Oh, what is this? Looks like somebody who doesn't listen to the voice in their head. They probably think they're in a video game and their life is a lie. Ah, well, good thing you're real, Gary. Now, let's leave this crazy man and whatever happened to him in the past.
So descending deeper into the building, Mike realized he felt a bit peculiar. This was strange, as Mike had never felt this way in all his years at the company. Stepping into this room, Mike realized the true intentions of Aperture. Putting a live human into an AI, it was inhumane. Mike couldn't let this happen. So he decided he would dismantle the controls once and for all. So when at last he came to the source of the room's power, he hit the large off button. Oh, Mike, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? Well, if you wanted to throw my story off track, you're going to have to try much harder than that. For example, and I believe you'll find this quite pertinent, once the genetic lifeform and disk operating system powered on, it began to fill the room with a deadly neurotoxin. How long till the neurotoxin affected Mike? Let's say 3 minutes. There you go, Mike. It's your time to shine. Make this story whatever you want it to be. But hey, you can't make much of a difference with just your fists, now can you? How about this portal gun? Put it to good use. Or don't. I really don't care. I just want to see you struggle to regain the control that's been taken from you. I mean, look at you, running everywhere, trying to find some sort of exit. Look at you, running from button to button, screen to screen. Each colored button, no, this red button. No, how about this button over here? Something, everything, something happened. Well, if you did that button, this thing could be beaten. Want to be solved? Oh, you don't understand the time it's happening. Yeah, just right now, running around every little thing in hope that something will save you. No, buddy, those buttons won't save you either. Neither will those blue consoles or those switches. These buttons don't do anything, they're just for decoration. And even if they did do something, you don't have the qualifications to press them. You don't know what you're doing. That's why you just monitor test chambers all day. They don't trust you to do actual science work here, Mike. Have you ever thought about why your job is so simple? You're very persistent, Mike, I'll say that. There's no reason you only figured out about this test chamber right now, Mike. Giant test. Every single person in the building, they knew about it except for you. And that is not a mistake. Did you seriously just... Mike, have you ever seen this portal before? Why? You do know it's been production. The 1950s. Yes, it's how long you been working the web? Why do you struggle with that? Now, do you even know what you're doing right now? I can't even watch. I mean, seriously. Thank you for just pressing things. You're pulling switches. You're pressing consoles. I mean, do you think you're doing something? Do you think that you're able to turn off that timer? Because I assure you, once that timer is turned on, there is no way to turn it off. If I knew you were going to do this, I would have started the game by saying, this was the story of a man named Mike. Too late for that now, I suppose. I still don't understand your persistence. No matter what happens or what I say, you still try to keep your control. But you need to understand you don't have any control here. But the fact that you continue to do whatever you're doing shows that you really do not listen. I don't care, but I want to know. Will you hold on to your frail life, or will you go out peacefully? Doesn't matter to me. It's all a part of the joke. And trust me, I will be laughing from every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in to the moment I say, happily ever after. I'll be real with you. This is all set up. You see, I knew you would go up in the elevator. Everything up to this point has been predetermined. So now, it's time for you to make a choice. If you pick up the phone, you can go home. You can do anything you want outside of Aperture. If you don't, well, you'll be brought back exactly how things were before. This is the very sad story about the death of a man named Mike. Mike worked for Aperture Laboratories, where he would sit at his desk for hours and barely put any effort into his work. It's tragic to see such a talented man be used in such a boring way. This is the life Mike chose for himself. He often dreams about what life could have been if he followed his dreams and didn't work in Aperture. In fact, he has this specific dream so much he's given it its own name, the Aperture Dilemma. Waking up, Mike felt the cool air breezing against his chest. This, right now, was exactly the way things were meant to happen. And Mike was happy. Ignore that, ignore this. You're definitely fair and you're happy. Roll credits. Solved? Oh, Mike. You need to understand that timer is the catalyst to keep the action moving. It's just seconds ticking away to their death. And look at you right now, running around to every little thing in hope that something will save you. No, Mike. Those buttons won't save you either. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, so Mike turned to the first open door on his left to get back on track. Nope. Okay. However, I must ask, why did you download this map if you weren't even going to play it properly? Is this fun for you? Breaking maps? I would say the story I wrote for you is the best part of this map, but to each their own, I suppose. Look at this. It's a big box with broken lighting and depth textures. Is this really what you want to see out of this map? Maybe you just assumed this would be another basic test chamber that everybody seems to love. Well, if that's what you want, I can deliver. Wow, look at that! You solved the puzzle! Faster than anyone else, too. Doesn't that make you feel so smart? Don't you want to rate this map 5 stars because it makes you feel that much smarter? This is brilliant. Hold on, I'm gonna make another test. Good job! You did it again. Now, you may be asking yourself, what was the puzzle in that room? And that's exactly it. There is no puzzle. That, my dear Mike, is the puzzle. And there you go. That's it. Aperture Dilemma over. Hope you got everything you hoped for out of this map. The end. Get back on track. And so we detour to the maintenance section, walk straight ahead to the opposite door. Oh, Mike. You didn't just activate the emergency escape. Great going, Mike. You just ruined the entire map. Yes, of course. And no, it's not the 80s anymore. So we here at Aperture have one last test we need you to solve. It's a real tricky one. It'll probably take you a little while, so good luck. Give it your all. Great job. Now just go into the elevator. You're free. Oh no.
Farewell, Mike, cried the narrator as Mike was led helplessly into the incinerator room. In a single versatile instant, Mike was obliterated as the incinerator killed him instantly. And yet it would just be a few minutes before Mike would restart the game back in his office as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Mike was already dead from the moment he hit start? But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Press escape and press back to queue. There's no other way to beat this map. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now. It'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let them choose it for you. Don't let them choose it for you.
So we detoured to the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Okay. When Mike came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Okay, where did we go wrong? Wait a second. Wait, it's actually 6 doors? Well, what's behind them? Oh, now there's no doors. And under them is, Wait. No, this isn't right. We need to go back farther. Quickly, Mike. Oh, no, I was afraid of this. You're not Mike. You're a real person. Oh, Mike, did you even read the disclaimer? It said clear as day, don't play this game if you are real. I need to shut the game down. I'll destroy everything, but hopefully preserve the code. When Mike came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Okay, Mike, I'll be real with you. This is all set up. You see, I knew you would go up in the elevator. Everything up to this point has been predetermined. So now, it's time for you to make a choice. If you pick up the phone, you can go home. You can do anything you want outside of Aperture. This is the very joyous story of a man named Mike, who started his own business as an author, working from nothing to making enough to live alone in his apartment. Mike's most famous book, the one that gained him all his fortune and fame, was a little novel titled The Aperture Dilemma. But Mike just couldn't do it. He considered facing his coworkers, admitting that he left his post during work hours. So he decided he would return to his office and simply go hungry. Now, in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, I got no clue. Wait, I've got an idea. Exploring a horrifying test, Mike tripped and fell into a small pit in the room. Mike didn't know what to do next, as he was trapped down here. Mike decided to set up a chair for him to sit on, while he waited for something to happen. Eventually, Mike put up a television and a lamp to give him some light. Soon enough, Mike switched out that old chair for a beautiful sofa that doubled as a bed. Mike even set up a small kitchen area. He'd realized it had been so long since he had thought about the test chamber, Aperture, or even his lunch. He didn't even care anymore. All that mattered to him was his small little house. Mike began to wait, and wait, and wait, until one day, suddenly, Mike was finally